Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by green hills and slow-moving rivers, there lived a man named Thomas Gray. Thomas was a lantern maker, a humble craftsman who made lamps that glowed softly in the dark streets of the village. He was gentle, patient, and kind. People respected his work, but not everyone respected him. Across the street lived Mr. Clark, the village tax collector, proud, sharp-tongued, and always suspicious of others. He often accused Thomas of cheating his customers. "Your light isn't worth the price you ask," he would say loudly. Thomas would try to explain, talking about the cost of good glass, the fine oil, the careful hands that built each lamp. But Clark never listened. He only smirked and walked away, leaving Thomas feeling small. The more he spoke, the more twisted the stories became. One morning, the village square was filled with noise. A traveler, an old monk named Bhikshu, had arrived. People gathered around him, asking for blessings and advice. Thomas, tired and confused, waited until the crowd thinned and then approached. "Sir," Thomas said quietly, "I never cheat anyone, but no matter how much I explain myself, they twist my words. What should I do to make them understand?" The monk looked at him and smiled. "Tell me," he said softly, "if a man decides the sky is green, what color is the sky to him?" Thomas frowned. "He would still believe it's green, I suppose." "Then," said Bhikshu, "would your explanations change his eyes?" Thomas shook his head slowly. "No, I guess they wouldn't." The monk placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Then stop explaining colors to those who refuse to see. Let your work be your answer." From that day, Thomas changed. He stopped defending himself. When people accused him, he simply smiled. When Mr. Clark mocked him in public, Thomas bowed politely and said nothing. At first, everyone thought he was guilty. "See, he has no words left," Clark shouted. But Thomas kept working calmly and silently. He polished his lanterns with care, lit them each evening, and placed one outside his shop. Night after night, that single lantern burned longer and warmer than any other. Travelers began to notice its steady light. Soon, people from nearby towns came to buy his lamps, not because of his words, but because of the quiet glow they carried. One evening, Mr. Clark himself needed a lantern. He came to Thomas's shop, embarrassed but stubborn. He placed 3 coins on the table and said, "I need one for my porch." Thomas simply nodded, handed him a lamp and said, "It will serve you well." Days later, the villagers saw Clark standing outside his home at dusk, staring at the soft flame. He didn't say it out loud, but something in his face had changed. He finally saw what words could never show. Truth doesn't need to shout. Thomas's silence became his protection, and his peace became his greatest wealth. One night, as he placed the lantern outside his door, a young boy named Finian asked, "Mr. Thomas, why do your light shine so beautifully?" Thomas looked at the flame and said, "Because I no longer waste my fire trying to light the darkness inside others. I keep it here where it belongs,